Yeah, we're just going to keep switching things up here because at some point something's bound to work, right? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. I genuinely had a real part of me that wanted to make a "Is this rock bottom for the Red Sox" video today. It's the same video we've made for 3 years in a row, right? Since 2022, since we started this channel, every year we've had a "Is this the Red Sox rock bottom" video. That's how poor these last few years have been. My problem making the video right now is that it's May 28th, right? There is still plenty of time for the Red Sox to just simply dig through this rock bottom and find a brand new one. So I'm going to avoid doing that until absolute worst case scenario. Instead, the only other option here, instead of just sitting here and complaining about how miserably terrible, disgusting baseball right now the Red Sox are putting out on the field, which we definitely could do, we're going to continue to try and fix things, right? We can't have any control over what the Red Sox do, but we sure as hell could give them some suggestions, because at this point, with how the Red Sox have been this past week, this past month, this past season, for this front office to sit here and do absolutely nothing is kind of verging on malpractice, right? Your team is just pooping its own pants here directly in public, and we're letting it run down the leg right now, right? At least get these guys some toilet paper or something. I don't know. It's driving me absolutely crazy. So let's talk about some things they can do. We've actually had a couple of conversations this week on things the Red Sox could potentially do to switch up their team, right? We've made conversation about Cora. We made conversation about Trevor Story. I still personally don't think, regardless of our opinion on what Alex Cora is doing to this Red Sox team and what he could do, or what they could do if he left, that the Red Sox are going to fire him. I just think they're going to be a little bit more patient than 2 months into a 3-year deal. I get that he has sample size outside of that, but to the Red Sox, that's the way they're looking at this right now, right? I don't think he's fully in the hot seat at the moment, but that doesn't mean everybody's safe. That doesn't mean nobody can be touched on this roster. And what if the Red Sox start with a smaller move here, a smaller firing? Because Cora feels like a white flag, but a guy like Pete Fatsi, that could just mean a change in perspective here. The Red Sox offense, it's actually been fairly solid if you look at it numbers-wise this season, but it's clear as day that this team offensively just isn't as consistent as it needs to be, right? It goes through stretches where it looks really good. It goes through stretches it looks really poor. And on top of that, you're seeing a lot of regression from guys you shouldn't see regression from. And you're seeing guys who just simply can't take that next step forward. There's no development going on in this Red Sox offense right now. And maybe a firing like Pete Fatsi to get a new perspective in here actually does something beneficial to the Boston Red Sox. On top of that, what this could be in terms of firing Pete Fatsi is a warning shot, a sort of shot across the bow here, looking directly at Alex Cora. Reminder that, hey, you're not untouchable, right? I love Alex Cora. I still don't think the best move for this Red Sox team at this point in time is to fire Alex Cora. But hey, keep in the back of your mind, right? Don't put it totally out of existence here, and remind everybody that you guys are paid salaried employees, right? If you aren't getting the job done, we can easily move on from you. It sends a message, and it gives the Red Sox a new perspective offensively. They're one of the worst teams in baseball when it comes to situational hitting. Someone's got to have some repercussions for that. Fans want blood. We want a hammer to fall here. I don't think it's going to be Cora. Why can't it be Pete Fatsi, right? At least to start this off and see things changes and just keep sort of slowly moving up that ladder if you need to. In my opinion, that's the best place to start. So what I would do first and foremost is I would fire Pete Fatsi. We've had conversations about specific individuals on this roster, but let's talk about the roster as a whole, and let's just simply go through this part by part, starting with your starting rotation. Now, from my point of view, this is how the Red Sox should be lining up their rotation right now. I think it should be Crochet, obviously, right? That dude's going nowhere no matter what the Red Sox do. Buehler, who I actually think has been really solid since his first 2 starts of the season. Giolito, who you don't really have a better option right now, so you might as well go with Giolito, right? He's definitely not a 3-style pitcher, but you can't really rely on many other people right now. You can't rely on Giolito, so I guess it's picking the best of the worst here. I don't know. Bello, and we'll talk about that in a second, and then Richard Fitz. Now, the reason I went with Brayan Bello is not because I think he's a better pitcher than Hunter Dobbins. It's mostly for 2 different reasons. One, Hunter Dobbins has looked like a legit major league pitcher for sure, but he's had a lot of issues going deep into games. Once he gets into that 4th or 5th inning, things start to unravel fairly quickly for Hunter Dobbins. The Red Sox are going to need some length in their bullpen over these next couple of weeks. One, Bayo isn't giving you much in terms of length. Two, Richard Fitts, who we just talked about, is coming off a pretty major injury here. There's a reason he only went 3 innings in the game last night. He's going to continue to have to build himself up at the major league level. You're going to need someone in there who can give you innings out of the bullpen. And if Dobbins has a really, really fantastic first, second, and third inning and then falls apart in the fourth or fifth, he's your best option when it comes to your bullpen, right? It's not because he's a bad starter. It's because he's probably a pretty good reliever. I'm honestly picking Bayo over Dobbins for one simple reason. It's because I think Dobbins is a better pitcher out of the bullpen. The other reason is because despite Brian Bayo not be able to go deep into games, the Red Sox are somehow 5-2 in games that he starts. I don't know if it's the Red Sox rallying behind Bayo for some reason. I don't know if it's because he gets the best bullpen arms. It's clearly not him who's winning these games, but for some reason, the Red Sox are winning more games with Bayo on the mound than they're losing. And right now, if it's working, I'm not touching it. So, in my opinion, this is the way the Red Sox should structure their rotation right now. I think it should be very, very easily changeable, though, right? I would give Bayo one more start here. If he continues to look poor, maybe you have a bigger discussion about whether it should be Bayo in the bullpen and Dobbins in the rotation. Once you get Cutter Crawford back, maybe you go to a 6-man. Maybe you push Giolito into the bullpen, right? Maybe you have some conversations about that. This should be the most malleable part of your roster right now because it's the part of your roster that, one, you don't have a set 5 in, and two, has really been consistently a poor part of this team. At least the other portions of this team, the bullpen and the offense, have been really good at points this season. Your rotation has never really been really good at any point this season. In my opinion, very malleable here, but this is what I go with. One thing I'm kind of sticking on theme with here is at this point in the season, if you're going to be this middling team, you should have your most talented team on your roster, right? Maybe not your best performing right now, but your most talented. And that goes for the bullpen as well. I think when you're taking a look at what the Red Sox bullpen should look like and the moves that they should make there are 4 guys, in my opinion, that absolutely need to be in this bullpen. I think that's Chapman. I think that's Justin Wilson. I think that's Greg Weissert. And I think that's Justin Slayton. In all honesty, at this point, I think that's the order you go in, right? Those are your 4 most reliable relievers. Chapman's been fantastic. I don't think yesterday was his fault. Wilson's looked really good. He could get some more high leverage opportunities. Same with Weissert. And Slayton, despite having a couple of games where he's really looked poor, he's had some really big moments this season, and I still think he's a really talented pitcher. From there, things get pretty interesting, right? I think for the most part, you keep status quo. We talked about Dobbins being in there. I think you hold him in that. That's 5, right? Bernardino, I think, needs to be in this bullpen. Is he the greatest pitcher of all time? No, but he comes in basically every game and he gives you a solid outing. Whitlock, I think you hold on to for now, right? I think maybe that's a guy who you start maybe potentially putting on the hot plate here. But at the same point, too, again, we're not talking about best performances right now. We're talking about highest ceilings and most talented players. Do you give him some lower leverage opportunities here when guys like Weissert, Slayton, and Wilson are actually performing in those high leverage spots to maybe regain some confidence? DFA Liam Hendricks. DFA him, right? He's complaining about playing time, but he has 13 and a third innings thrown. He's allowed 7 earned runs and 6 walks. He is throwing absolute meatballs out there, right? He doesn't deserve to be in high leverage spots. He doesn't even deserve to be in the bullpen. And my reasoning for this is at the bare minimum, maybe you don't get better production out of guys like Nick Birdie, Luis Guerrero, Zach Kelly, but what you do get, you get guys that you could sit there and say, okay, like Liam Hendricks right now is performing really poorly. If he had options, you could option him down to AAA and get someone up here, right? You can make your bullpen a little bit more malleable. You can utilize it more versatile, right? You can utilize those options. And right now, Liam Hendricks doesn't have any. Bite the bullet, get rid of him, bring a guy up like Nick Birdie. If he performs poorly, okay, great. After 15 days, bring up Luis Guerrero, bring up Cooper Criswell, bring up Zach Kelly. Zach Penrod's rehabbing right now. Chris Murphy's starting a rehab assignment right now, right? You've got all these options that make this bullpen extremely versatile and workable when it's not working on the field. Liam Hendricks is preventing you from doing that. He's not performing on the field. He's complaining about playing time. Get rid of him, DFA him, trade him, do whatever you want. This is what I think the bullpen needs to look like. On the batting side of things, again, it comes back to you're in a bad spot right now. You need to put your most talented team on the field, and right now the Red Sox aren't going to do that until Roman Anthony is in this lineup. And I understand the arguments against Roman Anthony being here. He comes up here, he does really well, he wins Rookie of the Year, you lose a year of service time. I understand it also means potentially losing an extra draft pick in 2027's draft. You're going to have 4 true rookies on the Boston Red Sox, and sometimes that doesn't work out. Here's my answer to those. 1, you are the 3rd or 4th most valuable team in the entire sport. I don't care about service time manipulation. If you're the Red Sox, it is genuinely borderline pathetic that you're sitting here saying, hey, we believe so wholeheartedly that this guy could win Rookie of the Year that we're going to hold him down in minor league baseball so we can get an extra draft pick in 2027. You said coming into this year, this was your year to compete. This was your year to fight for a division. Well, guess what? Your division, you're almost 10 games back of at this point, right? You should be at the bare minimum competing for a playoff spot. And if you're not bringing this guy up because you think he could actually help this team, that's malpractice. You are one of the 4th richest teams in the entire sport. Figure out a way once he gets up here to give yourself that extra year of service time. Figure out another way to get a draft pick. You just traded Quinn Priester for a comp pick. I do not care about service time. I do not care about the draft pick. You are the Boston Red Sox. You should not care either. The second thing is, yeah, there's 4 rookies on this team if you bring them up. They're already a middling nothing burger of a baseball team, right? At the bare minimum, if they're going to be a nothing burger of a baseball team, at least be that while you develop some of the core players of your really good Red Sox teams in the future, right? Give these guys some experience, something to lean on when you actually do want to compete, because at some point, you are going to end up competing here, and you want these guys going through their bumps and bruises at the major league level while you're trying to compete or before you try to compete. To me, logically, it makes sense to get these guys up here before you try and compete. Roman Anthony needs to be up here, but what does the starting lineup look like in that case? Well, as of this moment, by Friday, here's what I think the Red Sox lineup should look like. Jarren Duran in center field, Rafael Devers at DH, in the 3-hole. Without Bregman, it's going to be really difficult to find someone to actually protect Rafael Devers, and I think that's going to be a problem going forward. You're going to have to find someone to either get hot or start figuring themselves at the plate. I think for now, Carlos Narvaez makes some sense. In the 4-hole, Wilyer Abreu for now, but that should be quickly Anthony or Meyer's spot. Marcelo Meyer in the 5-hole at shortstop. Stop beating around the bush here. Story is not cutting it. Get him out of your everyday lineup. I don't care if that means platooning him. I don't care if that means putting him on the bench. I don't care if it means DFAing and just eating that contract. 6, Roman Anthony in left field. Again, should move up at some point, but just because he's a brand new to Major League Baseball, put him a little bit lower in this lineup. Christian Campbell at second for now, but by the end of June, I think should be at first base. Again, he's going to be in the 7th hole. Your hope is that eventually he could take over in that 4th or 5th spot. Sogard, Romy, or Toro in the 8th spot, playing first for now. Again, you don't really have any other options at first base. Put one of those guys there. Toro's been perfectly fine. Sogard's been perfectly fine. Romy's been perfectly fine. Obviously, eventually, you want a higher impact bat in the lineup, but they haven't been the reason you've been losing games. Cedon, by Friday, I think I'd put him at third base. Yes, offensively, he's been bad, but he's versatile for you defensively, and at the bare minimum, at least you're getting something there, right? You're getting, at least he's not striking out as much as Trevor Story is. But ideally, what this would lead to is hopefully the Red Sox treading water until Alex Bregman comes back, and your lineup can look like this by the time he gets back, right? Duran, Devers, Bregman, Anthony, Narvaez, Meyer, Abreu, Campbell, Cedon, or whoever else you want at second base. That is a legitimate winning lineup. That is a legitimate, really talented lineup right there, and that's what it should have looked like coming into the season, but instead, you mess around with Roman Anthony's service time. You prevent him from coming up because you're so desperately attached to draft picks 2 years away from now that you are putting a team that is not as talented as it needs to be on the field, and for some reason, this is okay with this front office. I'm sick and tired of talking about the future plans of the Red Sox. I want to win right now, and I'm assuming a lot of you guys want to win right now. This is how this gets done. Now, does this actually do anything? Honestly, I don't know. Right? It could end up being that the Red Sox, talent-wise, are just this middle-of-the-road, nothing-burger team, and that's just simply what it is. But at the bare minimum, what this shows is a ability to make tough decisions, is an ability to get yourself and put yourself in a better spot talent-wise, and it just makes it more watchable. The Red Sox right now are not a watchable baseball team. It's disgusting, pathetic, miserable baseball day in and day out. And it's the same song and dance with the same people game after game. At the bare minimum, at least someone different is losing you baseball games, right? At least someone different is coming in here and trying to do something else for this team that hasn't been done already, right? I think at this point, again, you talk about it, fans want blood. They want change. I'm with you. I want blood. I want change. Do something. You have to do something, or this is going to get ugly very, very quickly. And in a month or two, we may legitimately be having conversations of the Red Sox firing Alex Cora or the Red Sox trading away Alex Bregman or Duran or Buehler or whoever, right? We're getting to that point now. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think? What are the big changes you would make to the Boston Red Sox, and how would you get it done? Let me know all your thoughts. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.